Happy Wednesday, happy live. Valerie Hunt, RunRX here with you. And I'm so excited that you guys have been participating in the 30-day RunRX Reboot. It's still not too late to start. Today we're going to do a hip strength exercise. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the feedback I've been getting, which has been really positive, so thank you. And the questions have been great, so I want to answer a few of those. And what I did notice, which is very common, but day one, we had a lot of excitement. We saw a lot of people open and do the practice. Day two, a little bit less. Day three, a little bit less. Get back on it, guys. It's like no more than 2 to 3 minutes of your time. And every day you do a little bit more to make yourself ready to run, right? I want to say like this reboot is for anyone that's already a runner, wants to be running, has an injury, has had an injury. I mean, it's all of us. And the foundation of running really is skill, strength, and self-care. And that's what RunRX is all about. We are all about those three things. So skill is number one, which is why day one of the reboot was the gait cycle. If I'm going running, I should know, right? What's the movement look like for that run? And then we went into, I'm just offering different skills and strength to go, and self-care to go along with it. So what happens is you learn how to do the running itself, right? You learn how to stand and pose, practice the fall, do the pull. Well, let me tell you, if you've never done that, then you go out running, usually come back, and this is what I've been getting back, so I want to talk about it. My heart rate got up really high, my calves are really tight, it just feels very different. How do I know if I'm doing it right? So these are the things that I've been getting back. I had a great question about calf stretching, so I was going to just kind of answer those really quickly, and then we are going to do the workout. Today is my favorite. It's straight leg hip lifts, and it's a hip hinge, and both are very common in the running world. The straight leg hip lift, not so much. It's common in Valerie's running world, but a lot of you guys have done like a bent leg glute bridge. So I want to talk real quick about the purpose of strength and how it helps in your run. Because I'm not talking about lifting weights, I'm talking about your body weight. And the fun part of running is it's all about your body weight. Where is my body weight? And how do I use it? That's the question, right? So body weight, when we are standing in our pose, is on the foot I'm standing on. That's where my body weight is, right? Because I sense my body weight is on the ball of my foot. And it's the only part of the body that can hold weight because it's connected to the ground. When you're seated, your body weight's on your seat. When you're standing, your body weight's on your foot. Connect with that foot. Spread your toes out as wide as you can. Bend the knee you're standing on. Connect with that foot. In order for this foot to be able to support my body weight, what do I need in the foot? Strength, stability, mobility in my ankle, flexibility in my calf, strength in my hip, right? Strength here in my center to hold my shoulders up over my hips. So I need a foundation base of strength and balance just to be able to stand here. So that's important to kind of get at. And I don't need it any more than just me doing this, really. If you want to make it more challenging, don't worry, we can do that too. But for right now, this is the important thing. All right, let's switch feet. Put your other foot on the ground. Do the same thing, wiggle your toes, bend the knee, pull that other foot, and just feel your body weight on your support. Because when you run, the goal is to get off of your support. And as soon as you're off of your support, where are you? You're on your other one. It's a change of support. Change of support, right? And how do we change support? We pull, fall, up, up, up. The faster I change support, the faster I keep traveling forward. It's so simple, it's so fun. But first I have to kind of have that understanding of body weight is on my support. And the part to understand even further than that is that muscles only act in response to body weight. So once I start to understand that, muscles are down on the list, right? So it's not going to help me right now if I stood here and pose and I was about to go running. I could squeeze my glutes real tight. Squeeze them. Everybody do that. Squeeze your glutes. Squeeze them tight, tight. Where'd you go? Nowhere. See what I mean? It's not going to help me. Flex your biceps. Flex them. Ooh, flexing my biceps. Where am I going? Nowhere. Muscles aren't going to move me. So it's not about strength. It's about strength and stability on my support. It's about I'm stable in my pose. I have stability in my hip. I'm connected to the fall. And when I do fall, I can hold my ears, shoulders, hips, lifted ankle in line so that when I fall as a unit, one body weight. And then when I'm on the ground, one body weight, fall forward and change support. So I want to say something real quick since someone had a great question. On day 1 of the reboot, I stand in pose and I'm practicing the fall. Let me go on this foot. So someone asked me a question and they said, if I leave my foot flat as I fall, will it help me stretch my soleus? Sure, but if I'm trying to stretch my soleus, then please do the soleus stretch, which if we haven't gotten to you yet, is coming in the reboot. Does that make sense? I'm not trying right now to stretch when I'm telling my body, I need to be moving. Running is moving. Movement. Please realize that. So a stretch I will give you. You've got plenty of stretches. Standing in pose is shaky balance. Shaky balance means I don't really want to be stuck here to the ground. I want to know that as my hips go forward, my foot unweighs, and I pull. We only use 10% active muscle contraction to pull the foot. 2% of my body weight. So guys, if you're going out running and you feel your legs, if they're heavy, you are missing out on the fun part of the fall. Remember, the body has to fall and then the foot pulls. In order for that to happen, it's just you practicing. But the stability in the hip goes a long, long way with that. So I hope you have some space to lay down. And let's do this straight leg. We're going to go from the ground to back to standing. So I'd like you to lay down if you can. And just take your legs out. And you're going to have body weight in your head, in the back of your head, and in your feet. So we're going to do 10 hip lifts. Now let me just say this before we get started. I'm going to hold my arms up just so they're not in the way. If you need help, use your hands. Then you can help yourself to come up a little bit off the ground. That's perfectly okay. I would prefer you to stay with your legs out, please, and not like this. But again, wherever you are in your journey, if you need to be here, also no problem. This would be a great modification, okay? But if you can, take your legs straight out. And I want you to squeeze your glutes real tight. Just squeeze them, squeeze them, squeeze them, squeeze them, squeeze them. So you know you got them. Now let it go. We're not going to ask our muscles to do anything. We're going to allow our muscles to work in response to our movement, okay? So I want you to press the back of your head and the back of your heels into the ground, 10 hip lifts. No hands if you can, otherwise please use them. So I'm looking straight up at the ceiling, pressing my feet and my head into the ground. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make sure you breathe. A lot of people, when I first teach them this, will say to me, my hips don't get up very high. Well, of course not. We're on a straight leg hip lift. It also, I need you to understand, when you do this, this is the lift simply from the ground. So try to lift and hold. Hold. You will never fall further than this. When you hold, woo, man, you should feel the entire posterior chain light up. We didn't ask any muscles to contract, but did they? Of course they did. But they already know how to. We don't really need to ask them to. We need to allow them to do that, okay? So if you felt this as you did the hip lift, you should feel your hips are light as you are unweighting the hip. You're putting the pressure of your body weight on your head and your heels, and your hip unweighs. Isn't that cool? All right, so now let's go ahead and stand or lay here in our pose. But we are in our running pose, right? So you could even have your arms kind of bent by your side. Now, I only have one support, a little harder, and still my head. Ready? We're going to do 5 and 5. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most of us, when we first do this, will instantly feel how one hip works a little better than the other. So what do you do for that? Well, let's just do one more so we can talk to it. Pick whichever hip you had a little bit more of a struggle with and get back in that pose. Now do the same thing. Just do like 3 squeezes with your glute. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now let go of that squeeze and do 3 lifts. 1, 2, 3. Now switch feet. 3 squeezes. Squeeze it, activate. Squeeze it, squeeze it. Now let it go. 3 lifts. 1, 2, 3. What I hope you felt is that as you did the glute squeezes, because you've probably all done those before, when you released and then you did the lift, you were still aware that the glute was working. That's what I want. We should feel this. This is your, this is my anatomy for you. This is your running butt right here, right? You've got a glute, you've got 3 big muscles in the glute med, right? The glute maximus, the glute minimus. The hamstring is here. The hamstring is our running muscle. When we pull our foot, we're using the hamstring. This is our running muscle. So what does my glute do when I run? Holds. Like we held that hip lift. Holds. It's not moving, it's holding. You hold shoulders over hips. The only action you have at all is simply to pull the foot with the hamstring. So when people talk about glutes being active and running, it's not because you're activating them. It's because they're active because you're standing upright. And the muscle holds this upright. Just like the quads hold the front, the glutes hold the back. Now you've got a stable hip. See? It's all connected. So that way when I'm running and I'm holding my hip stable, everything works like it's supposed to. Because then my hamstring's free to work. Because my glutes are holding this, my quads are holding this. So they're working. My gosh, they're working. They're just not me asking them to work. I'm only asking this guy. And very little, I'm just asking for a little bit. So start thinking of your training that way. So if I'm running and things like my legs feel heavy, then you know, oh, I'm asking too much from my muscles. Let me increase my fall. You know, things like that you'll start to think about. All right, here we go. Both feet on the ground. Pretend like someone's got their hands on your hips. You just did all that good hip work. You've got a thread here at the navel, and someone's gonna pull it that way. So you can pull your stomach in to come back. Now, you're gonna press your feet. Where's your body weight? It's in your feet. So we're going to take our body weight, press into the ground to pop the hip up. Again, not asking muscles to work, but go ahead and as you go back, pull your stomach in. Now press as you come up. What I feel when I come up is definitely some action. Now you can feel your hamstring and maybe a little bit of glute. But again, I'm not squeezing any muscles. All right, we're gonna do this with one leg. We'll do 5 on each side. So stand with this knee slightly bent. This is my free leg. So let it come back. And again, I'm looking for shoulders over hips, my legs somewhere back behind me, doesn't really matter. Press into the ground to come back. So again, leading from that center, but moving everything as one unit, see? One unit, whoops, and then press into the ground. So you can take your arm, and that can help you with balance. I'm talking, so I'm moving my arms around. Arms are for balance, that's really it. So again, coming back from the center here, press into the ground to come back up, holding the stability of the shoulders over the hips, moving everything as one unit, right? This line here, because if I was standing in pose and doing this, right, it moves as one unit. But I want this leg to be free. 2 more, so pull in, press into the ground, come right back up. 1 more, pull in, and press. Now stand in your pose and change support. Pull. Gotta be quick. All right, here we go. Get into your foot, wiggle those toes on the ground, dial in that foot. Here we go, pulling in, press into the ground to come up. Good, pull in, come up. Good, pull in from that center, press into the ground with your foot. You should just pop right up. 1 more, pull in, press, pop right up. 1 more time, pull in from the center, press as you come up. Isn't that fun? So real quick, since we're all here, stand in your running pose and change support. Ready, pull. Ready, pull. Ready, pull. 1 more, pull. See, now you had a lot of stability in your hip. You were grounded with your foot, and you were ready to change support. The fun part of all of this, guys, is if you would take the practice part, just listen, just do and listen, and I call it exploration. So many of us want to control every movement, right? I want to feel it. So people, when they do like, I don't know, whatever strength exercise, they're always talking about muscles. Talk about the movement and unweighting your support, right? We got so much great strength stuff coming. There's squats, there's lunges, there's all the stuff that people do. And just real quick, when I first started training 31 years ago, I did a lot of aerobics, did a lot of body weight work, a lot of whatever, weights, you name it, I did it. And people would always say to me, you're gonna hurt yourself. When I was younger, I'd hear that a lot. Valerie, be careful, you're gonna hurt your knees. Well, I am 49 years old, nothing wrong with me. My joints move, I can run, I can lift, I can have fun with my movement because I learned how to move. And I would always say that to people. Running doesn't hurt your knees if you run correctly. So, but in order to run correctly and not have the pain, I also have to do the skill and the strength care. In the self-care. So I really, really hope you guys take a little bit of time to do these. And again, it's so simple. And you can do 10 hip lifts and then 5 singles, and then do those 10 hip hinges after a run. After a run is a great time to put in those hip-specific exercises, right? That's a great time to do it. It takes, like you know now, it takes 2 or 3 minutes, and you did it. And then take a little time to do like the ankle openers I had you guys do, right? So somebody was asking about soleus stretching. Absolutely. This one's you're gonna have plenty, right? But if you're feeling during the run, or you finish your run, and things are like, my legs are heavy, my calves are tight, these are signals, this is feedback to you that you need to get off the ground quicker. Not run faster, please. Not running faster, but having the understanding that I need to change support. I need to pull my foot, and as soon as I've pulled it, I pull the other one. That's it. And then how do I travel? Fall. It's all connecting, right? So please, I hope you stay connected with the reboot. And listen, if you are having any kind of a twinge at all, or if you haven't done this yet, take the RunRX quiz. It's totally free. And basically, it just talks you through a little bit of what's going on. Say you've got a shin splint, or your knee hurts, or plantar fasciitis, or calf, or whatnot. It asks you in the quiz, are you feeling pain? Yes, here's where it is. Then I give you a tip on maybe what's going on, right? And if I start to think about, again, it's just to give you an idea, maybe this is going on in your movement, right? And maybe this could help with the knee pain. And then you take it out, you try it on your run, and you're like, oh, it did help a little bit, or it did feel different. Then I hope you come back and go, okay, I am gonna go and do the skill and the strength and the self-care, and it'll all work together. So runrxquiz.com. It's fun. It's, you're not really taking a test. You're just giving us information so we can give back to you something to help you specifically with your run. All right. And we have a YouTube channel. So yes, all of the reboot is on the YouTube channel. So it's RunRX, and I have a whole library. I've been putting out videos on the Facebook, on the internet. When did we start? I started in 2011 putting out these videos. So I've got 10 years of content. There's plenty of content, and you can search in it. You can start to look around. That's the fun part. There's a ton of stuff on there. So binge it, have fun with it. But I'm telling you, these little 2 to 3 minute practices I'm giving you for the reboot is that foundation for your run. And comment, you can talk to me, ask me questions. What we would love for you guys to do, I have seen no one do this yet, is if you do a practice, a drill practice, today's strength practice, whatever it is, and you post it somewhere and you tag RunRX Reboot, I'll go look at it. Maybe I'll give you some pointers. That's the fun part. So far, the only RunRX Reboot tagging has been Valerie Hunt. And I do these all the time. So you guys see me all the time. Let me see you. All right? So hashtag RunRX Reboot if you do one of these practices. Stay with it, guys. It's week 1 already. You're almost there. All right, guys. Oh, good. Melissa says she's excited, so I'm going to look for her tagging me. All right, guys. Have a great day. And again, you can post in the comments on today's live. You can, again, if you're doing your own social media, just hashtag. We've got the YouTube channel. Take the quiz, runrxquiz.com, and I'll be back here next Wednesday. Looking forward to talking to you again. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.